What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with Astrodfs, and in today's video, going over Week 9's Thursday night showdown between the Ravens and Dolphins. And I will say, this is one of my favorite showdowns I think we've had so far this season. It's a very high total for a showdown. Baltimore, for the most part, is all healthy. Their defense still missing a few pieces. Miami obviously missing Tyreek Hill. Their tight end room is really banged up. But overall, I think we get two, for the most part, bad defenses. Miami's defense just played really good against Atlanta, and we saw Baltimore's defense play really good against Chicago. But consistently this season, they've been two underperforming teams. So with a 7.5 point favorite, obviously it says that Baltimore should be winning this game by over a touchdown. What that means is we're getting two defenses that are really bad against the run. Baltimore needs to get some wins going under their belt if they're going to compete in this very tough division. It's looking a little good for them right now, but overall, I mean, it's just a tough division. Whenever those division opponents play, it's always a tough game. But I really like the run game for Baltimore, and that includes Lamar Jackson, that includes Derrick Henry. We're getting both defenses that are bottom 10 defenses against the running back. A lot of points allowed, a lot of rushing yards. On Miami side, they allowed to running backs, touchdowns to opposing quarterbacks. Surprisingly, only one interception for this Miami defense, and you would think it's just teams aren't throwing the ball a lot to them, right? They play really good against wide receivers. And it's because they're bad against tight ends, and they're bad against the run. So I really do like Lamar. I really do like Derrick Henry in this one. And on the other side, I really do like Devon Achane. Like, against this Baltimore defensive line that's very, very banged up, and they're going to continue to be banged up this season. And Devon Achane, like, I think for what everyone expected, if you saw 34 points against Atlanta, you would expect Achane to have more than 20 DraftKings points in that one. And that's because Miami had the lead. They didn't need to use him, right? We look at Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon got 13 opportunities. He got a touchdown. All right, well, surely it was just them. No, because we're going to go down to Jalen Wright as well. Guess what? Jalen Wright got 10 opportunities as well. Miami was in the lead. They did not want to kill Devon Achane in that game when having the lead, so they went with Ollie Gordon. They went with Wright as well, Jalen Wright. In this game, where they're going to be down, I expect Devon Achane to be used more than the other two backs and more than he was against Atlanta. So I love the top three. Then here's where we start to get difficult, right? Like, we have 5 players above 10K. 5. Man, you've seen some of the showdowns. This is crazy, right? Granted, Lamar still isn't 12K, so I think he's cheap. Anytime you get one of the top elite quarterbacks in a showdown slate under 12K, you're getting value there. So I love the top 3. On the other side for Miami, yes, Jalen Waddle is very enticing at 10-4. Obviously, since Tyreek Hill's been out, he's seen a lot of benefits of it. In this matchup, I don't know if I want to go Jalen Waddle as much, right? We're clearly not able to stack all this, right? We got $50,000 to spend, and one of them's a captain on 6 players. We're going to have to fade something. I'm fine with fading a Waddle, right? It's pretty much you're playing Achane or you're playing Waddle. If you're playing a Baltimore side, obviously if you're playing a Miami side, you're going to want Waddle and Achane. But if you're playing a Baltimore side and you're stacking Lamar with Derrick Henry, or even if you're not stacking him with Derrick Henry, if you want to stack him with Zay Flowers is 9,400. You're going to have to fade. So I'm okay fading Waddle. I'm okay fading Tua, right? Like, even when Tua throws 4 touchdowns in a game, he still only has 24 DraftKings points. Tua's not a high DraftKings points type of guy, right? I am fine with fading Tua. There's going to be some lineups where, yeah, like, it makes sense. And the other thing that I will say, guys, we have some great value on this slate. We have some really, really good value on this slate. So, like, yes, like, I like Jalen Waddle? Yes, I do. Do I like Tua? Yes, not as much, but I do like Tua. Do I like Zay Flowers in this matchup? I think it's a good matchup for him. It's just, I don't know if we need to go there. Rashard Bateman, yet again, I like Bateman. I just don't think for his price point, I just don't know if we can go Rashard Bateman. I mean, look at what he's produced so far this season, and he is 6,400 against a Miami team. They are truly one of the best defenses against opposing wide receivers, but it's because they're bad against the run. It's bad against the run, bad against tight ends. So, yeah, like Bateman, I'm not playing Bateman. Like, I'm going to be really, really low on Bateman in my 150 because it's just, he's so expensive and he's just not producing. I'm still going to want him because there is that upside with Bateman. We've seen it with Lamar and Bateman. We've seen games where he gets 15 plus, he gets 20 plus points. It is possible. It's not going to happen consistently, but it is possible. Kickers, yeah, if you want to go in the scenario that it's a high-scoring game, right, and you want to get different somewhere, having a kicker is okay, right? We've seen games fail with a high total. Everything on paper looks good. You're like, man, this game might score 60, 70 points, and guess what? We see field goals because of penalties, because of miscommunication, a bad throw, a run just doesn't get the first down, whatever. Like, things will happen, right? It's not crazy to say this game goes under. It's a very high total. Obviously, we all, as fantasy people, want an over. We want more points. We want our guys to keep scoring points. But it's very possible that shit happens, and we see kickers get involved. So I will say that, yet I'm not the highest on them, but I will just put that perspective, put that storyline in your head when doing your lineups, making your lineups. There is a scenario where teams struggle to score or struggle to get the first down or a holding penalty comes up. But we get Mark Andrews at 5K. I really, really like Mark Andrews in this matchup against Miami. He's 5,000. We're getting, typical Mark Andrews. We saw it going down the stretch last season where Mark Andrews kind of non-existent to start the season. And then as the season went on and Baltimore was a very good run-heavy team, Mark Andrews saw a benefit of that because teams were stacking the box. You had to against Lamar and Derrick Henry, and we saw someone like Mark Andrews really, really benefit from that. Someone else that we saw benefit was Rashard Bateman in that same aspect because teams are stacking the box, get a lot of one-on-one on the outside for someone like Bateman, and that's where he exceeded. Now, here's where we get some other value. Malik Washington, he is a little expensive for what I would like, but at 4,800, he has stepped up quite a bit for this Miami team. Granted, the numbers don't truly show it, but he has stepped up for this team. At 4,800, he definitely has the touchdown upside. So I'm fine with getting a value piece. Like if you're playing Tua, you're playing Waddle, and you don't want to play Achane, Malik Washington at 4,800 is definitely worth a stack for a cheaper piece. Ollie Gordon, yes, like I like Ollie Gordon. He's just too expensive for me for the volume he gets, right? Like, he's been okay. But I just don't want to get there. We have someone like DeAndre Hopkins, who's $200 cheaper, who's going to be probably on the field more if I had to guess. Granted, they're different teams, different positions, all that. But DeAndre Hopkins' numbers versus man coverage, and Miami runs man coverage a lot, are great. DeAndre Hopkins is the top receiver on that team versus man coverage. So at 4,200, I don't think it's crazy to see DeAndre Hopkins get a 10, 12 plus point game with a touchdown in this one. So yes, I do like DeAndre Hopkins a lot in this one. Justice Hill, if you want to target Justice Hill for the receiving aspect, I'm okay with it. We've seen it. This is definitely a game where I think Baltimore is going to utilize the running backs a lot. So getting Justice Hill as a cheap piece for Baltimore, I'm perfectly okay with. Don't have a whole lot of interest in these defenses. If I were to go a defense, I'd go Baltimore. I would put it that I would think Miami's offense has a worse game than Baltimore's offense. Tua with 10 interceptions. Like, he's throwing picks. There's a possibility for a pick six. Their offensive line is still very, very bad. The only thing is Baltimore's defensive line is so banged up. But if I were to take a shot on a defense, I would go Ravens. It's still, I don't love it. But if you want to get different, where a lower ownership is going to be at, that's how you do it. You attack a defense. And Ravens, I would go Ravens. Now we get to, yet again, another tier of value under 3K. This is where my value, I look for value pieces at. And that is Mr. Tanner Conner at 2,800. Granted, Baltimore played against Colston Loveland pretty damn good last week. But Tanner Conner, not the best pass catching tight end. I'm okay with getting him as a cheap piece, right? Obviously, if I'm playing a few lines, it's probably not a guy I'm going to have in my lineups. But if I'm playing 20 plus lineups, I probably want some exposure to a tight end against a bad defense, right? You got to put it in that Vegas has Miami down by 7.5, which should mean Miami's passing the ball a lot, which should mean a couple extra targets to the tight end, Tanner Conner. He's not the only tight end I'll talk about here, though, but it is worth mentioning he is the guy that is getting a majority of the snaps with the injuries going on right now. And then Isaiah Likely at 2,000. Like, since coming back, really haven't seen him involved. Granted, really tough defense in Houston, really tough defense in LA, and then Chicago. It was a good matchup for him. They just used the running game quite a bit. Zay Flowers. We didn't see the ball really get targeted elsewhere. This is a good comeback opportunity for Isaiah Likely at 2K. This is a game where at 2,000 for Isaiah Likely to get 8 points, I don't think is crazy. For him to get, 7 points, I don't think is crazy. At 2,000, you get value there, right? If you want to know how to pay up for some of those expensive guys, someone like Isaiah Likely, someone like Keaton Mitchell, right? Like, if you like the running back aspect of this game, Keaton Mitchell should be one worth targeting. He has the explosiveness in this running back room. Like, Derrick Henry is still surprisingly an explosive running back, but for true explosiveness, Keaton Mitchell is that guy. He's getting outsnapped by both Derrick Henry, obviously, but Justin Hill. He saw 7 snaps in this game against Chicago, right, where Baltimore was in the lead, and he got 4 rush attempts on those 7 snaps, and he went for 43 yards in that. So I like Keaton Mitchell. I'm going to have exposure to Keaton Mitchell. He's very cheap at 1,400. For him to have an explosive play, I don't think is out of the picture, so I definitely think it's worth mentioning. And then 2 of the other names I will mention are both Miami depth pieces. Cedric Wilson Jr. at 800. Yet again, you don't need Cedric Wilson Jr. to do a lot. Like, if he gets you 4 points, right? 2 catches for 20 yards, 3 catches for 10 yards, so be it. I mean, 4 points at 800 is magnificent, right? Just as an example. Puts us up 1,500 per average. So you're able to plug in a lot more going there. Greg Dulcich, though. I think Greg Dulcich at 600, right, getting into this offense. Miami's tight ends are banged up. Their top 2 tight end options are out. So it's Conner, and then you're going to see someone like Greg Dulcich kind of getting to the passing role. I'm not as high in saying, hey, Greg Dulcich is just mispriced because he just got to Miami and playing. I think he's a better pass catcher for tight end than Conner, but Conner's probably going to get more consistent snaps in this game. He's probably going to get a majority of the volume. But would I say it's crazy for Greg Dulcich to get 2 for 20? No. So I think it's good to get the value pieces on Miami as well. And then Baltimore, like I said, you get Isaiah Likely and Keaton Mitchell. That's what I'm looking at for value. So let's try to build a lineup here. And I'm going to say, for the sake of it, let's do Lamar. I want to try. Let's try. Let's do Lamar. Let's do HA, and let's do Henry. We're left with an average of 3,300. All right. Let's do. I like Mark Andrews. Let's do Mark Andrews, and then we could even go with a. We can't even go Malik Washington. Let's go like a Conner, and then we could go Likely. So we could probably change it up. Let's see if we can get different. We can't get Waddle. Let's put Malik Washington, and we could do that, right? So let's get then Isaiah Likely, because I want to get a tight end. And then I could get different, and I could still get Connor, right? I can still get Connor in there. And I switch it up and I got Malik Washington instead of Mark Andrews. Let's see if we can get something else out of this. Let's put Derrick Henry and see where we're kind of at. So, yeah, not much of a difference there for doing that. So, let's go totally different, right? I like Mark Andrews. Let's Captain Andrews, see what we get. And you know what? Let's do this before we do anything, right? Let's put in one of these cheap guys. Let's put in Cedric Wilson Jr. for the sake of it. Let's put him in. And then I want Mark Andrews. I like Mark Andrews a lot. Let's captain the cheapest piece. So let's captain Derrick Henry. So we get 92. And we can get both of them. And then we could pretty much decide. Like, I can then go a D-Hop. And do a 4-2 stack on Baltimore. And, hey, I got the running back. I got the quarterback. And I got the tight end. I got the receiver. I got Devon Achane. So, yeah, that's just an example. Just going over some of the stuff I liked. Well, you know what? We'll be unbiased here, and let's go a Miami route, and let's go in Achane. Let's go a Waddle. I'm gonna say those two are gonna do really good. Let's go with a Lamar because I think it's clear to say Lamar is probably gonna be one of the top players in this one. Let's go Isaiah Likely because it opens it up a little bit. Let's go D-Hop as well. And we're left with 45. So let's go. If we're not playing Henry, let's say Justice Hill then. So yeah, so we up it. We get HM, we get Waddle, we get Lamar. We don't get Derrick Henry. We don't get Zay Flowers. We don't get Mark Andrews. We're going with the complete cheap options for Baltimore, and we're saying HN Waddle are pretty much going to outscore the top Baltimore guys. And going this right, like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to not play Tua, but it's saying that the combination of HN Waddle and Lamar are going to outscore the combination of Derrick Henry, Tua, and someone like a Zay Flowers or any of those top options. So it's pretty much saying that, like putting Waddle, HN over Henry, Tua, and then saying easily Lamar is going to outscore Tua as well. So yet again, just an example for you guys. But hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I will have my main slate videos going out over the next few days, and then we will be live Sunday morning as soon as the injury news breaks. So hope you guys did enjoy this one, and we'll see you in the next one.